Hello and welcome to the Green Profit Academy Pros podcast. This show digs into the challenges in growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit. I'm Christine Era.
And I'm Steve Bousquet. We are the green industry experts in profit, growth, and leadership. Good afternoon, Christine. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a great day, very productive. The sun is shining. It's like 90 degrees here in Colorado. How about you?
You got some sunshine. Yeah, the sun's out today. We had a massive rainstorm and poor Vermont got flooded, New York got flooded. We didn't get it that bad in here in Connecticut, but it is a beautiful sunny day. So Tuesday and ready to rock and roll.
Excellent.
Today's episode, we're going to be exploring the importance of one-on-ones with your team members, and we will be offering a very special giveaway at the end of today's podcast. Be sure to listen all the way through for the details. You don't want to miss anything on this podcast. This is a crucial podcast on how to engage your team and keep them supported so you can keep growing your company and meeting your goals.
Yeah, I love this topic. I know, Steve, you and I both kind of stumbled around the concept of one-on-ones with our team around the same time. And I know both of us just flat out rejected the idea. Like, we're like, what? This is so much work. What are you talking about? What do you mean this one-on-one thing, doing check-ins? Like, I don't have time for that. So I know we both struggled with it. We have both gone through the journey, implemented it in our business, and we are fully reaping the rewards of implementing one-on-ones.
Yeah, I was against it. I'm like, doesn't make any sense. It takes too much time. No one's going to go for that, And I'm curious what the fear was, what my fear was. I can't really pinpoint exactly, but there had to be some fear that was surrounding it. It just didn't make any sense. But now that we've been doing it for years, people look forward to it. It's a big part of our culture, and I said on a previous, podcast that culture is not a barbecue on Friday afternoon. Culture in a company is every day, every hour. And one-on-ones is just one of those ways to keep the culture intact. And on one of our previous podcasts, we talked about 12 levels of engagement. And this is one of the tools, the one-on-one that supports those 12 levels of engagement that was developed by Gallup and the Clifton Strength teams after they interviewed 1 million managers and found out what the most highly productive, highly engaged teams, what they looked like, what they did, and what was important to them. So what is a one-on-one, Christine? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so a one-on-one is, it's meeting as a leader. You're meeting with your manager or your team members. And typically, one-on-ones are done with our direct reports, right? So who is it that's directly connecting to us? So when I say that, I'm saying we don't want to do, let's say, one-on-ones with your field crew, right? If you're the owner and you're not managing them, the manager of your field crew should do one-on-ones with your field team. So it's the people who are directly reporting to us is the people that we want to sit down with and, have a conversation. And there's a structure that we follow. There's an agenda that we follow, and they typically should take about 15 to 30 minutes at the most. I mean, on average, I would say the feedback I get is it's about 20 minutes.
Okay. So one-on-one is we take time on a schedule, we take time out of the day and we sit down with someone that is our direct report, someone that we manage, and we're going to ask them a set of questions. We're going to ask them a series of questions. And they're given the form before, they can answer it beforehand, they can write it out, or they can answer it while they're in there. So it's taking time, whether it's weekly, every other week, or every 3 weeks, typically you want to make sure that it's predictable and schedulable. And it's just a conversation, right? So why is a one-on-one important?
So I've learned why it was important, with my team. And it was like kind of something over time. And then I learned even deeper levels of importance, like what it creates. So what I learned is that it allows our team, to be focused, right? It gives them that free space and that time to sit down and go, okay, this is what I need to focus on. And I know the feedback that I get from my team is, it helps them identify my needs and the priorities because we have so much changing on a regular basis. So it's giving them that time and space to focus and then have conversations around, what they need support on. So it could be, supporting our team in challenges and pain points of their priorities, understanding to, maybe even how to be a better team member and show up and coordinate with other team members or communicate. So it's a way of us supporting our team to where they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel supported, and we're giving them that space.
So it frees them to focus, and it moves the conversations out of email, out of text, out of
Yeah.
Slack, and it adds. So we're talking to people, so it adds tone, emotion, and it supports people in a more meaningful way than just sending another email or sending some type of chat message. It's that face to face, and there's so much importance in tonality. When you use tone in your communication, a lot can change when you say something like just a simple hello, right? Hello,
Yeah.
hello. I mean, just this how you say one word can change, make it silly to me, almost like mad, to very welcoming. So having that face to face, in person conversation is very important. And so another reason to have is because it creates well-being at work for our team members, helping team members feel seen, heard, and valued, like you say, and having a sense of honest curiosity during the one-on-one. Also celebrating wins and successes with our team and acknowledging them that for that. And it just shows that we're paying attention and that we care. So it's a very meaningful tool to have these one-on-ones.
Yeah, and one of the things that I took away, and it was shared with me through Marcus Buckingham's work, and he wrote, Marcus Buckingham contributed to the strengths, the Gallup Strengths Finder. So he was one of the people that helped develop that and contributed to it. He has moved on to continue to focus on work around team engagement, and he recently released a book called Love and Work, which really talks about it. I think it marries well with the Strengths Finder, like really knowing like what are your strengths. But he created an assessment called Standout, which then kind of tells you, how you show up, like who you are, how do you identify yourself? Like, are you a connector? Are you a teacher? Like what does that look like? So I feel like the strengths assessment really focuses us on like what are our ingredients, and then the standout assessment, which is kind of like that next phase, it's like how do we show up with those ingredients. So one of the things that Marcus Buckingham talks about when it comes to one-on-ones is he says it's about know me, what I do best, and focus me around it. So know what I do best and focus me around it. And then the next one is what are your priorities and how can I help? So those are some very, simple things that you can focus on if you want to simplify your one-on-ones is know me, focus me, and support me. And basically like ask how I can help. And you just share 5 things, that they will focus on over the next 5 days. If you're doing your one-on-ones weekly, what is it over the next 5 days? We do ours every 2 weeks. So one of the things that I say is over the next 2 weeks, this is the priorities that I really need you to focus on. This changed, this didn't, this is what it looks like. And this is really what happens in the best teams. So frequent strength-based check-ins about work.
And I know Marcus Buckingham, he worked with Dr. Don Clifton, who founded Gallup and Clifton Strengths, 30 something years ago. I know he worked with him directly. So he has incredible insight on the Clifton Strength and what actually it's about and the whole mechanical workings of that. Yeah. So, right. Know me. What know what I do best at work, focus me around what I do best, help me understand what the priorities are and how I can help, share 5 things they can focus on over the next 5 days. And, so they know what's expected of them. It's very, very interesting. And one of the things that I had a discussion with my team recently about was, that person's mission at work. So I'm not a really in the weeds, super detailed person. So I'm like, your mission is to serve the client by communicating directly and clearly when you answer the phone and then transfer that information to the rest of the team and support them. How you do that is then up to that person in that role using their strengths. And we identify their strengths and talents and then encourage them to use that. Other people may have, other things like you're going to answer the phone with your left hand and you're going to type with your right hand and you're going to at least only say it for so many minutes. So there's different ways to manage different people. And some people might need more guidance than other people, depending on their strength and talent theme. So it's not one size fits all when it comes to one-on-ones, and it's not all, one size fits all for management styles. But knowing the person, seeing what they do best, realizing that, and focusing them around that is pretty universal if you can do that. Absolutely. So a main point we went over what a one-on-one is like. It meets with the leader or manager. You're doing it every 2 weeks. We rotate about every 3 weeks for my team. We work pretty closely on a day-to-day basis. We all see each other every day, and we don't let things go too far, but we definitely are doing the one-on-ones. We tried it every week. It just was too little time. We need a little more time apart. My office manager, she does a one-on-one with her team every week, and then she does individually. Then she does a team one-on-one, which is the most fun one-on-one for them. It's really one-on with her team that they enjoy that the most. So you have to work with your strengths and what works for your team. And we went over a little bit of the one-on-one structure. It should only take about 15 to 30 minutes. You said your average is about 20 minutes. We have some people that are 15 minutes and some people that are 30 minutes. It really depends on their shareability. So one of the other supporting ideas surrounding one-on-ones is the learner mindset living. And just talk about the learner mindset living for a minute.
Yeah, so we utilize the learner mindset living not just in our one-on-ones, but in the day-to-day in the business. It's a concept that we really adopted. And the tone of the one-on-one is following the learner mindset living. So utilizing the choice map. So we've talked about the choice map in previous episodes. If you haven't heard that episode, we highly recommend you go back and listen to it. It's a great episode, and we dive into how we utilize the choice map and what is the learner mindset. So it's all about staying curious and asking powerful learning questions. So these really play, a key factor in the healthy and productive one-on-ones that you have with your team. So you're really not, jumping to conclusions. You're not driving down the assumption junction to where you're like, oh, they're telling me this, it must be this, or they're saying this. We're taking the time to slow down and respond versus react. We're taking the time to be curious and ask questions to understand more of what they're sharing with us versus react.
Oh, yeah. That learner mindset living is one of those things that we have to practice, right? Or I talked about culture is hour by hour. Learner living is moment by moment. Each moment we're deciding, do I want to go on the learner path or down the judger path? I do go down the judger path. I have tools called switching questions to get me back on the learner path. But, even as I start my one-on-ones, we have our big choice map that we start the meetings with, all our meetings, especially with the one-on-ones. And even as the person doing the one-on-one, I have to check myself. Where am I on the learner path or the judger path? And where am I on the choice map, and make sure that I'm where I need to be in a way I can support my team in a healthy way.
Yeah, and I think that's a really just leadership kind of just mentality, right? Is recognizing where are you at, which it's a coaching technique that's called establishing focus, right? It's a step that you take when you sit down with somebody and you're going to have a conversation or a coaching conversation. Is it's so important to establish focus. Where am I at? Where are you at? Kind of how are we doing? And just create that space to slow down, because I know in business, and I am guilty of this, I come in hot a lot, to where I have a ton of stuff going on and I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to be in this meeting. I have to be in this call. And I'm like sliding into home and I'm like, ooh, I'm here. Like, okay, let's go. And that's not always the best approach, when sitting down with the team member, especially when you're there to support them, you're there to hear them. You don't want to feel like it's a drive-through conversation. You want to stop, establish that focus. And then the next state that you're talking about, the next step is meeting them where they're at, because we're coming in from our journey during the day and all of our task lists, and we need to understand, well, where's this person at? How are they doing? What's going on with them? They could have had a completely different day than us. And so that's going to impact the conversation. That's going to impact our communication and going back and forth, and even the energy and the tone that's showing up.
Yeah, and I've talked about this, before. You have to meet people where they're at, and wherever they're at is fine. We just have to realize where they're at and meet them there, and can't be upset where they're at, because that's where the curiosity comes. We don't know what they just came out of, or the day before, the hour before, the 2 days, a month before. So you have to really be curious and find out where they're at and meet them there. And that's how to support people. Yeah. So we kind of talked about what a one-on-one is. What is a one-on-one not?
Yeah. So I think that's a good point, because I know I have been guilty of doing the not what a one-on-one should be. And then I'm like, what's this person's problem? Like, we're supposed to be talking and, checking off the boxes and getting updates and, and I wasn't showing up to be supportive or to really listen. I had my own agenda, coming into the conversation. So as a leader, it was really my job, and it was also my job to teach my other leaders, what are you supposed to do and what are you not supposed to do? So it's not a job performance review, tied to any sort of pay or benefit. So you're not talking about, and this needs to stay completely off the table, you're not talking about their performance. You're not saying, oh, this is what I think how you've done over the last 6 months or a year. That's a completely different meeting. If you want to have that meeting, set it up to have that meeting. And you're not talking about their pay and benefits either. So nothing tied to their compensation and nothing tied, to their performance that's related to their compensation.
It's definitely not about compensation or their job. It's really, and we're going to go over some of the questions later, it's really about them, hear me, see me, right? It's also not a complaining and victimization session. So it's not a whining, complaining session. So we don't want to, because that's why we use the choice map. Where are you on the choice map? It clearly identifies where people are. And all we, can use the switching questions to move out of that choice map, learner, judge or pit to the learner path. It's also not a therapy session. We're not trained therapists. Maybe somebody is out there. I'm not a trained therapist, so it's really about listening and asking questions. It's not a therapy session at all.
Right. And that includes, not just like the woe is me or let me bring my woes to the table at that moment, which can tie to the victimization conversations, but also it's not about, triangulation. And triangulation is something that is extremely unhealthy that can happen in a business. And it's somebody bringing a problem to you about somebody else. And I know, in like I deal with this in my household a lot, to where it's like our number one rule is no triangulation. You have a complaint about somebody, you've got to bring it to that person. I will have a coaching conversation with you about how to bring it to that person, but you don't want to be, pulled into that dysfunctional, situation. So when I'm saying no triangulation, and I'm sure everybody who's out there who's managed people that's listening right now, they're like, yes, I've heard this before. So you have a team member that comes to you and they say, hey, Bobby over here is doing X, Y, and Z, and it's all Bobby's fault, and Bobby's really making me mad, and he's not doing his job, and all this stuff, and he's just complaining about Bobby. And so you say, well, hey, what have you done to talk to Bobby about this stuff? So, and it's okay to, to cut them off early, so it's not just this whole verbally vomiting, conversation. But you say, all right, so what are you going to do about Bobby? Let's come up with some action steps for you to go deal with Bobby and his performance, versus, them just giving you the whole problem. Because what it does is it diffuses the situation for them enough to where they never go do anything about it. And then the problem never goes away. So you really want to make sure you redirect to action steps to say, hey, go talk to Bobby. Tell me the 3 things that you're going to do to solve this. And then when we meet next time, I want an update. Or you could even say, email me or text me an update about what you did with Bobby by tomorrow morning or end of day on Friday. So that's where you really don't want to turn it into a therapy session. You want to keep it focused on the goal, focused on the real challenges and the topics, and then find the coaching opportunities to redirect them to what they should be doing about it.
Yes, talk to people, not about people.
Yeah.
Talk to the people, not about the people. Okay, so it's not a therapy session. It's also not a time to solve major strategic issues with a role, or strategy issues with a role in the company, or strategy for the entire company. It's really about the individual and not roles. It's about the person and not major strategic. This is going to be 15 to 30 minutes, and we need to focus on them and not have big major, like, where do you see yourselves in 10 years and 20 years? That's not that conversation. Or how are we going to solve sales? This is not the solve sales conversation. Or how we get production rates up. This is not that meeting. This is a meeting for you, for the manager and the employee, to have a talk about the team member, the employee, or the direct report. It's about them and them at work.
And if it does come up, a strategy that you can use, because this has happened to me, to where it's like they don't want to talk about anything else except for their big strategic issues or challenges, right? So it's like, oh, we didn't connect on you at all or support you. So it can be used as a deflection of really talking, and connecting. But what I'll do if they bring up something to where they say, oh yeah, well, this isn't where I want it to be, I say, okay, great. By the end of our meeting today, let's set up a time to go over these outside of this conversation. So it gives us the opportunity to set up the time and make time for it. So if you're trying to implement one-on-ones and this happens, note, some of these things down that we're sharing as a strategy. Great, let's set up a time. When are you available to talk about this challenge?
Absolutely. One-on-one is also not a place of judgment. So it's not a place where somebody tells you something or shares something with you and you're like, oh, this guy, I knew it. It's a place for curiosity. It's a place to learn more and support our team members. It's not a place of, if they're going through whatever they're going through, family, personal, it's not a place for us to be judgy. It's really a place for us to ask, how can I support you around that? What does the support look like that you need? It's not a place for us to be judgy.
Yeah.
And it's also not for fixing people. It's 15 to 30 minutes. So we're asking, we're asking coaching questions. We're being curious. We're not going to fix people. The concept is one-on-ones are not to fix people that are broken. It's for them to be vulnerable and honest, and for us to coach and support them. So it's not a place to fix people in 15 minutes. You know what his problem is? If you just did this, and that. The challenge with that type of coaching is that we're coaching from our strengths and our talents and themes, and not the other person's talents and themes. So when we give advice out from our advice monster, from our strengths, it's not supporting the other person in their strengths.
Yeah, and there's really not enough time in this, 15 to 20-minute conversation to assess what needs to be fixed, right? So you can have a coaching conversation, you can guide people, things like that. But if there's a problem, you really need to step back and go, is it the person or is it the process? What's really going on here? So you need a lot more time for that in-depth curiosity. And if you are looking at, oh, well, this person needs to be fixed, that's an opportunity to take a step back and be curious and go, okay, well, what's really going on here? Is it the person? Is it the process? Where's the challenge? What strengths of theirs are showing up or what isn't showing up? Because as Steve, you've shared many times, like we run out of strengths.
Yeah, people have, their strength tank gets empty. And, a lot of people get assigned jobs and we put them in a silo. They got to do everything by themselves. And they get about 80% of the way through, and it looks like they're either procrastinating, they're lazy, they don't care. And really what happened was they ran out of strengths. They don't have that, the finishing. So, who needs to be on their team to help them finish? And if it's a repeated thing, is it a trend or an event? If it's an event, it's a one-time thing, that's one thing. But if it's a trend all the time, instead of getting mad at the person or reprimanding them or dealing consequences, as a manager, because we're creating an environment to support our team, and so people can operate and live in their strengths, we're like, who needs to be on that person's team? Who here has talents that can support them? So it supports the person, but it also supports the entire company and the goals, mission, vision, the purpose. So, the old day school of, consequences and just kind of beating employees with a virtual stick or, metaphoric stick and dishing out consequences, it doesn't really solve anything in the long run. It fixes it at the moment. And it also doesn't support people long term. And when you have people who have teams, and they know they can count on other people's strengths, the energy of the team, things get done much higher quality, things get done quicker, things get done, you can repeat it and you can scale it. So if you're stuck in a place in your business can't grow, things aren't happening, it's usually because you don't have scalability, which means you don't have strong teams, which means you don't have energy, which means, it just goes back. It's not sure, they're not doing their job, I'm going to write them up. But what is that really about? How can we really support them?
Yeah. Core Growth Strategies provides business growth management solutions through cloud accounting, bookkeeping, and strategic business consulting programs. Our team works with small businesses in lawn care and landscape and trade industries throughout the U.S. We increase our clients' business acumen by creating business performance transparency through financials and strategic advisement based on industry best practices and benchmarks. Our experienced team provides support, guidance, and coaching, thereby allowing our clients to connect with viable data and discover their own solutions. Core Growth Strategies programs and services are designed to get your business from where it is now to where you have always dreamed it to be. Visit us today at coregrowthstrategies.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Don't miss our exclusive limited time podcast special. Just mention promo code GPA Pro to any member of our team during your complimentary consultation, or enter the promo code on our site when you sign up for one of our online programs. That's promo code GPA Pro. Yeah, I love that point. It's, another point of leadership. Continue to be curious and walk away from what you've always been doing that isn't working and start entertaining some new ideas. What do those new ideas look like? How can you approach this in a different way?
Absolutely. So, what are some of the things we went over? What a one-on-one is, what a one-on-one is not, why it's important. So, the next one is like, what are the roadblocks to implementing this one-on-one system?
Yeah, because for sure, I would say, and I think speaking from experience, Steve, there are going to be things that trip us up, or that we kind of glom onto to where we're like, yeah, this absolutely isn't working. Let's make some excuses for this not to work, or I think we're both guilty of that. But the number one thing that I hear and that I know we kind of kicked out there was, I don't have time, right? And that, who wants to do this? Nobody's going to love to do this. Like, I'm too busy leading. I have too many people. And really, if you have too many people, you shouldn't lead.
Right? Yeah. Yep. I think the time thing was, the time excuse is the easy one because that's easy for everybody to swallow, kind of like, oh, I'm too busy. We're too busy. But, I had to really ask myself the hard question: am I too busy to lead my team? Am I too busy to grow my company? Am I
Mm-hmm.
too busy to support my dream that's going to support my family? What am I too busy doing? Am I loading a truck with mulch? Am I writing up another proposal that can wait 15 minutes? Is my urgent and important, or, urgent and unimportant? What's in the way of me doing what's important, but not urgent, like the one-on-one? So, I really had to ask myself as a leader, was I going to, just put my head down to be kind of an excuse maker, or was I going to actually step up in front of my company and support my team in a way that we could grow?
Yeah, and I have found so many times in working with business owners over the last 25 years, and I was one of them, to where I was like talking to the people I was advising, and I'm like, oh, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. And then I'm like, oh, look at me, look what I'm doing. Like, I'm doing the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. So, really realizing, what are you doing? What should you be doing? What are you saying yes to? If you're saying yes to something, then what are you saying no to? And making that time to be intentional. And I know leadership can be a very scary place. It could feel alone. It could feel, like you can make a lot of mistakes. What if you do something wrong? It's almost like parenting, right? There's a lot of vulnerability there. So really making that time to connect with your people, you can't be too busy, because if you are too busy, you're sacrificing your connection. You're sacrificing yourself as a leader. Like, who are you as a leader? And you're really not stepping into that, leadership spotlight and owning it. And you're kicking the can down the road, because you're going to have conversations at some point, and you can nurture them along, or you can paint yourself in a corner and have those hard conversations that eventually, because you haven't been having connective, nurturing conversations.
Yeah, and we don't have to we're not going to have a one-on-one with everybody in the company. I mean, it depends on the size of the company. My office manager has her one-on-ones. I have my
Mm-hmm.
one-on-ones. My tech supervisor has his one-on-ones. My landscape manager has his one-on-ones. So, I mean, I'm not doing the whole company. No one's doing the entire company. We're doing the people who are kind of our direct reports. So,
Right.
and we need to have them make time to connect to people, because when times get tough and things get hard, which they will in business, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We want to be around people that we know we can count on and who support us, and that's a real key in having low turnover in a company, is feeling supported.
Yeah. Yeah, and leading doesn't happen if you're not connecting with the people that you are leading. So, like you're saying with your office manager, she's connecting with the people she's leading. So she probably has about, maybe four people. I'm connecting with the people I'm leading. So, I have 3 to 4 people that I meet with in my one-on-ones. And then there's other people in the company. We have somebody who meets with our production team and does their one-on-ones. So it's a tiered structure to where who's reporting to you, okay, you're doing their one-on-one. So it's really not overwhelming, but as a whole, everybody's feeling heard, they're feeling supported, and they're feeling focused.
So, leading doesn't happen if you're not connected to your people. And I've often seen companies where the owner has that me against my team or me against my people.
Mm-hmm.
And they struggle. It's an emotional, they feel alone. They feel they're always the one to push the rock up the hill, move the needle, however you want to say it. And it's a lonely, and the turnover's high, and the production rates are low, and quality is low. So, people want to do good quality work at a good rate if they're connected to their leader. And so if things are happening around your company that you don't like, one-on-ones is a way to implement and solve those issues.
Right.
So some of the best team leaders, they keep a cadence, they keep it short, they keep it light, they keep it consistent. So every 2 or 3 weeks, if you need it every week, do it every week. But I would not go further than 3 weeks. We found that once a month was too long, and you want to keep it short and light. And you also want to be curious when you start the meeting and be there for the person to meet them where they're at. And the best thing team leaders can do is it's we, me position, and they get in the habit of one-on-ones and check-ins. So it's awkward for us when we start doing one-on-ones, and just accept that the first 3 or 4 times you do it, it's gonna be a little awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It takes a little bit to get used to telling your team the things, that are important to focus on during this period of time than other things while you're supporting them, while you're focusing them. It's just a different approach. It's a whole new vehicle. So, but it's a very effective one.
It is. It is. My team really loves it now. And they really look forward to it. It's pretty powerful stuff. All right. So what is the structure of the one-on-one, right? We have 15 to 30 minutes. 20 minutes is about typical. So we want to have a set time and day for the one-on-ones and stick to your time and day. I had people in the beginning who, we still have a couple of people who have emergencies that frequently come up when their one-on-ones are due, and we kind of have to work around that. And, it's the same people that they're nervous. It's anxiety, sitting down from someone and having a conversation about themselves. And one of our team members, we don't even use the form. We just have a conversation. It's too formal and too technical to go through the form. We just sit down and we talk. How have you been? He has like a mini farm. How's your, animals? How's this animal? How's your dog doing? What are you doing this summer? Just, and what are you thinking about? And what have you been curious about lately? What have you been learning? And just no sheet, no form, no fill out. It's too much pressure. So the anxiety, he's a great employee, does great work, but for some people, so you have to meet them where they're at. And other people, they write pretty much essays for every answer. Which is fine. So everybody's going to have a little bit of a different. And so the mission of the one-on-one, right? The purpose and mission of the one-on-one is to connect, to communicate, to see, hear, and care about our team. It's not writing these precise essays with exact punctuation. It's not, some people write 2-word answers or 2-sentence answers, and that's okay. More people, everyone's a little bit different. So it's really about meeting them where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely important to have like that set date and time for your one-on-one meeting and stick to that date and time, because it's saying, hey, you're important enough for me to show up for you consistently at this time. You don't want to reschedule it. You don't want to push it off. Yes, every once in a while, let's say if you're traveling, you're on vacation or something like that, but do it in advance, know that this thing is coming, and tell your team member like, hey, I know we have our scheduled one-on-one this time. Do you mind if we move it up a day or move it out 2 days, whatever, however that works, because people are going to take time off, but it's important to communicate that their time is important to you and respected. and that you're creating that space for them. So it really has a lot of weight to keeping it consistent, sticking to it, and if it needs to change, making sure that you effectively communicate, the importance of changing it.
And you want to have a prepared agenda that is followed from meeting to meeting so people know what to expect and you and your team can come to anticipate and plan for the topics that are going to be discussed. And we're just going to go over we're going to go over some of the questions that we ask on a one-on-one.
Yeah, and this is something that, you can kind of make your own, right? Like what works for you. These are several questions that you can use. You could use all of them. You could pick 3. We have different questions that we use, but these are kind of some standard ones. So one is wins and successes. So you have them share, a personal or business win or success that's happened, since the last time that you all met. And you're pretty much saying like, hey, what's going well? What's going well with you? I want to know about it. Share it with me.
And, right when we start our one-on-ones, I ask them, where are you on the choice map? And they'll share with me, I'm in learner, I'm in judger. And I'll be like, okay, tell me a little bit about that. And I'm not judging them. It's like, if you want to, judgers are a friend, right? So we want to, it's okay, but share that. Tell me about it. What's going on that is making you feel in judger. So we start there, and then the wins and successes. And sometimes the wins and successes are small. Sometimes the wins and successes are big. And sometimes what might not seem like a small or big win or success to us is big to them. So really staying non-judgmental and staying curious is so important. That's really like, oh, I went out to dinner with my wife. Well, to me and my wife, that's not a big deal. Our kids are out of the house. There's no one stopping us. For somebody else who has 3 or 4 kids, going out to dinner with their wife, that's huge. They had to get a babysitter that could handle 3 or 4 kids, or somebody's parents had to come over, and they have, there's a lot that goes into that. There's the 2 dogs, the 4 kids, the mom, the mother-in-law, and they had to drive 2 hours. I mean, there's a lot going on. So what might not be a big deal for someone is a big deal for someone else. So just be really respectful and curious and honor whatever they're sharing with us. The next one we ask our team is it, share a challenge or an issue that you're currently facing. So the difference between a challenge and an issue is a challenge is something that we can control, something we can affect. An issue is something we cannot control, we can't affect. Like if a bridge is closed and now we have to drive, extra 10 or 15 minutes to get to work, we can't fix the bridge. It's an issue. There's just different things that happen during the year. They're going to be issues. We just want to be aware of them. We're not offering to fix that for people. We're not making allowances that they can be late. It's just we want to be aware, like, okay, this is what's going on. And a challenge is something that they can do something about, and they'll say, I have a challenge for this project. And we're not trying to fix them or fix it for them. We're just listening. Oh, tell me about the challenge. So it's a lot of curiosity and listening.
Yeah. And another question that I know you have on your one-on-one agenda, Steve, is share something you are proud of from this last week. And I really like that question because it gives us a perspective of, what they themselves feel proud of. And it's going to be, different for each person because we all have our own experiences. We're all doing different things in the business. We have different lives, different interests and hobbies. So I really like that question because it does inspire curiosity and it gives us more of an insight to get to personally know our people better.
Yeah, it's interesting what people will say about that. Again, everybody has different things, so it's very fun to listen to that. And people are fairly consistent once you start doing the one-on-ones. Some people will be very proud of their kids. Some people will be proud of something they made. Some people will be proud of something they got accomplished at work. So you'll hear different things. Another one is development, engagement, right? What are you learning or what would you like to learn more about? And what's interesting, depending on their Clifton Strength themes, if they have learner and input and intellect, They love this question, and they could go on for half an hour. But most people are going to give you one or two things, depending on their strength and talent themes. But we want people who are learning. Over 50% of my company said when I had them interviewed, over 50% of my team members said that the reason they like working in my company is because we're always learning stuff. So, which goes along with that. That's like one of the big things is I always put in front of my people. I don't want them to be the same person next year that they are today. I want you to learn and grow. So for over half my team, that's a huge factor. So even though we're a lawn care and landscape company, what's important to them is learning and growing.
Yeah. And the other one is goals for the week. So, in your one-on-ones, you want to cover something that is at least measurable, and a action step or something that they can accomplish. So goals for the week, what do you want to accomplish? So what this is telling you is it gives your team member the opportunity to communicate what their focus is. What are the things that they want to tick off their list, their task list, or finish up and report to you. So this is also something that they could feel proud of. They could be tying up a big project. You could also understand like what their goals are and maybe even focus them on something else as well. So if you have a pressing issue, it gives that opportunity to say, oh yeah, and don't forget, like, I need this done, by the end of next week. That's something, that I don't want to lose sight of. So you can inject kind of like a little something else that you want them to focus on. So they're kind of learning priorities and how to prioritize. And then you're giving them the opportunity to come to you and say, hey, I have these goals. I feel really good about this. Like, this is what I want to accomplish. And it's really allowing them to own their role, own their tasks, their duties, how they show up for the team. So just that sense of belonging and ownership.
And we even break it down to we give them one big goal and then we have one small goal. So, because a lot of times it's hard to choose, right? But, my team has really learned to know, okay, this is the one big goal that's going to have the biggest impact on my role. So that's my big goal. And then the small goal will be something. The small goal usually is like finishing something up, and maybe they were waiting for information or something from somebody else, and now they can finally finish that up once they get that information. But a big goal and small goal, that really resonates with my team. They like to have that that kind of like option and choice. So, and another question is, where did you add value this week through client services or in the operations? And getting them to recognize how they're contributing and actually either writing it down or verbalizing it or both.
Yeah, and that's a great question too, because I feel like this question supports raising the awareness of our team members. And, they don't think as owners, they're employees. But sometimes we get frustrated because they don't think as owners, and we're thinking like, well, why don't they do it this way? Or, why can't they just see this? And it's because they're not owners. If they were owners, they wouldn't be working for you. They'd be out there owning their own business, right? So in this case, it really helps raise their awareness and notice those things that you do as a business, as a company for your customers, for the operations, them just kind of getting their head wrapped around like, what is it that raises the value in the company? What are the things that are important? And for them to verbalize that to you is a great accomplishment for them as well.
Absolutely. And another great question is, what would you like to talk about in your next one-on-one? Or is there a question in today's one-on-one that would have been helpful if I had asked? So, and letting them know, hey, next time, if there's a question I could have asked, let me know. Or if there's a question that you want to go over the next time, then bring that to the one-on-one and we'll do that. And another question is, what needs to be addressed that we have not addressed in this check-in? Maybe there's something they need to bring up. So you want to just check in with that. Most people, 80% of the people won't have anything. There's always 20% of the people that will. And we kind of went over the priorities for the week and goals. And then we asked, how can I support you during the upcoming week? Like, what does support look like Can I get somebody on your team? Do you need support from me? Is there someone else on the team that could support you? This is where we get about 80% of people saying how you can support me and only 20% saying, no, I got it. So it's very interesting. I'm proud of my team when they actually say, yes, this is how I need support. This is if so-and-so could help me with this because they're really good in Excel and they could help me organize that and maybe they could make this tool, and then I could get my job. I could automate my job a little. And so I love that when my team members are acknowledging and recognizing other team members' talents and strengths and wanting to collaborate with them.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are, the last three questions we went over. Like, this is what I ask my team. So, you can have different questions. It really depends on, your culture, how you're trying to connect with your people, the conversations that they like to have. My team is very, kind of fast paced. So they like to fire off what they need. They like to prepare ahead of time. And then they like to go over priorities and ask, like, does anything need to be, adjusted? And I can tell you, out of all the times that I have asked, how can I help? It is very rare that they say they need something from me. So they're like, no, I'm good. I got this. So when I first read that question, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say, how can I help? And then I'm going to be like helping them do their job, which was me jumping, to an assumption. And what was really going on was they didn't need my help at all. So I kind of had to get over myself and, they had it. And after a couple of times, I was like, are you sure you don't need me for anything? Are you sure? Well, okay. All right. Well, great. Well, let me know, where I'm at. And, so I was afraid of the how can I help question. But what I really learned was later on was it was my own fear and insecurity of like, oh, I'm going to have too much to do. And then it turned out to be opposite, to where I was like, well, gosh, they don't need me at all. I guess, if they needed me, then they would ask. So I'm just going to go do my stuff over here. So, so that was a insightful question. And it really helped me understand, how capable my team really is and how little they need me. So the one-on-ones were working.
And all companies are different. Some companies you'll get people that ask for help. Other companies they're not going to ask for help. Some companies will ask team members. Sometimes help means I need quiet time. Can I not have any interruptions? Or, can I have a new calculator? Or, can I have a second screen? So they're going to ask for tools. So help doesn't always, comes in different ways. It's just very interesting, and you really have to honor and respect whatever people are responding and replying in your company, because it could be very different from somebody else's company.
Right. Yeah. So I just kind of want to summarize, our topic today. It's such a great topic. So, and we went through and shared additional information through this. So, why are one-on-ones important? It creates that freedom to focus for your team. And it creates conversations outside of email, texting, Teams, Slack, things like that. And it creates well-being in your company. And so it's really know me, what do I do best, focus me, and you're asking them, how can I help? So you're creating support. So that's why they're important. And, what is a one-on-one? It's meeting with the leader or manager in the company, with the team member. So who is directly reporting to you? You're meeting with them and you're having a structured conversation that is about 15 to 30 minutes max. And you're doing it from that learner mindset, being curious and asking powerful questions. So, it's a agenda of discovery. And, other things, what it's not. So we went over what a one-on-one is not. And then also some of the things that can kind of trip you up when it comes to a one-on-one. So some fixed ideas that can get in our way is that you don't have time, as a leader. You're not connecting with your people that you're leading. And, also making sure you make that time to go over the important things like what's changed, what's going on, and creating that, we, me position in your company, saying like, hey, we are a team, we're in this together. And again, the structure of the one-on-one, you want to keep it consistent. So that's something, stick to a set time with that person, whether it's weekly, every other week, once a month, and make sure it's set for that 15 to 30 minutes that you have for them. So making that time for them. And then we went over some of the topping topics. And what we're going to do is we're going to share a link with you in our show notes today to where you can download a one-on-one agenda, so you at least have a structure. And we'll share that link in our show notes.
Awesome. One of my favorite topics, one-on-ones. I think it was a good show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and tune in for the next episode.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for listening to the Green Profit Academy Pros Podcast,
the show that digs into the challenges of growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit.